What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 25 of the Humble Threads podcast. We're a bi-weekly podcast that feels like you're hanging out with good friends, just talking about life, sharing relatable stories and interests. I'm Michael Hart.
And I am David Graves, folks.
All right, let's get humble, dive right in. What's going on in the world of Graves?
Oof, guys, I'm saying this week, it's been feeling pretty good for the past 2 weeks. I got a lot to hit on. I just want to say thanks to all you guys for a lot of the things you do, because without you guys, none of this stuff would have happened, and I'll get more into that. But hopefully Ashley's not up here, guys, so I'm going to whisper a little bit, get a little quieter. But this weekend is the proposal, people, okay? Saturday. I think Mike will be there. Everyone else will be there. We'll definitely have a video, some pictures, and everything else like that. So we have a socials ad break. Listen to that carefully. Follow us. You'll be able to see all the magic. It'll be fun. I'm excited. A lot of people are asking if I'm nervous. I don't know. I'm not really nervous. I don't think I will be until that time, because she's still oblivious. She has no idea what's going on. This chick, I've done switched the plan twice now because she thinks my friend's doing it, and she keeps saying, like, she said, Philly's too far. We can't go drink after. Longwood is cliche. So I said, all right, we're gonna do it at like a park, have our dog with a sign, etc. So we'll figure it out. But what is this? Oh, we're also talking about the house. The house is almost finished. The basement has the walls up, the spackle. We're getting there. The carpets just got replaced today. I cannot wait to be in the basement and make that little corner my own piece of whatever. But we're definitely going to be soundproofing and everything. It'll definitely improve the quantity and the quality of our podcast, because then I'll be able to get down there and actually get into things a little bit easier. Decorating. Whew, I know you people are in there. November is a sketchy month because it's either you're decorating for Thanksgiving for about 2 weeks, it feels like, and then smack dab right into Christmas decorations. I feel like they're lasting for forever. That's kind of what we're going through. We're trying to figure out, what we want to decorate. Our HOA doesn't let us decorate outside. I think it has to be 15 days before or something like that. Something weird. So we can't decorate outside, but we've been decorating inside. We said screw it with Thanksgiving only because Ashley's going to be working. A lot of my family will be out. No one's going to be over. No one's going to be here. So just ramp it up. Let's bring Christmas on in here. And last but not least, guys, the Sixers. I know you guys probably heard this story, but I want to say thank you to everyone who retweeted, added Chris and all these other people, the president of the Sixers, because it got his attention, and me and Ashley got to go to the Sixers game. I believe it was last week on Veterans Day. I thought I was going to ring the bell. That wasn't the case. So I was a little bummed out, but we got there. We got to park in the exclusive lot. We walked in through the fast entrance door. You just show them your ID. They say, all right, that's who we need, blah, blah. They give you this. We got an all-inclusive wristband so we could drink, eat, whatever we want. We were right in the corner of the game. If you tuned in, you might have saw us because we were on TV for a second. There was a veteran in front of us, and they put him on the camera. But I forget if it's the head of their marketing. I forget who it is. But I don't want to say their names either because who knows. But they came down, they apologized, and they said, listen, the shirt hasn't been cleared by the NBA. That takes like a year to do. So we want to do a giveaway at the game of your shirt. So what that means, I don't fully know yet. They haven't told me. So I'm hoping they just like throw the shirts out there in the cannons. Everyone can get one. So if you want to come and see, me ring the bell, that's when it'll be. It'll be in December. And that was very exciting. So I was like, all right, they said they're going to promote me. Our website will be on there. So hopefully that'll bring more traffic into our podcast. Can't wait for that, because that would be amazing to be able to have a substantial amount of people come in and maybe handle some more things on the side. Who knows? Maybe me and Mike could do this full time. That'd be crazy thinking about it. But yeah, that'll be in December. And one other cool thing was the lady came back and said, hey, do you guys want some like swag for the game next time? Like we were thinking we got to get you some swag. So let's go up to the store. Like you guys can pick out whatever you want. And I said, oh, you don't got to tell me twice. Let's roll. So we went up there. She was like, yeah, pick out whatever you want. I got the Sixers like Letterman puffy jacket. It was like $200. It was amazing. Ashley got a shirt. I told her to get a jacket or something, but she said she felt bad. But I said, run it up, man. Feel bad for me. It's been a year. Run it up. But she got a shirt. We got 2 hats. It was very amazing. We went back to our seat, finished the game. Courtside seats is a whole different type of experience. I can see why people want to get a substantial amount of money to be able to experience the luxuries and be able to get in there, get out quickly. It was amazing. But that's what's been going on, guys. I want to say thanks again for everybody who tweeted at the Sixers and added them. Thanks. But Mike, what's going on in the mind of Mike?
Yeah, it's been a rough and an interesting couple of weeks since the last time we spoke. You know, we're on this bi-weekly podcast, but uh like halfway through the like last week, my car started sounding like a cement mixer whenever I'd come to a halt. And so you know, I've been around cars a little bit in my life, and that usually tells you that something's wrong with your brake pads or your rotors or what have you. But yeah, it was sounding really bad. Like it was sounding like there was just something like can opening my car somehow, and it just sounded rough. But thankfully we do have a mechanic in the family, my father-in-law, who owns his own shop in the area, and brought it down to him. And yeah, it turns out my the problem really was the fact that, you know, since we've, you know, quarantined over the last year, my car hasn't really done any miles. Like I barely did, like, I think 3,000 miles over the last year. Right, because you're just not going anywhere. And he says, like, when cars sit like that, the brake pads kind of get stiff and can basically break and or, you know, fall apart because they just don't get used enough. And so basically my rear left brake pad was completely gone, and it was just metal on metal just grinding into the rotor. Yeah, not great. So it was a little bit, it was I'm just trying to stay positive and tell myself it was just like an early Christmas gift to get myself some some new brake pads and some rotor work. But you know, it is what it is, and I'm always happy to support you know, my family, my father-in-law at his shop.
I have been seeing the meme,
you know,
when it was like, when you start getting money and your car starts saying, "Hey, what's up?" Just remind
me. Yeah, because I mean, otherwise my car is in great shape. You know, I drive a Subaru and I love it. But so like after that kind of debacle kind of subsided, and you know, my car is fixed, it's great. You know, I just ran it on the credit card and just kind of like am paying for it now and whatnot. But you know, yeah, like kind of like what David was saying, like, you know, November's a weird time, right? Because like November, like people are like, do we bother with decorating for Thanksgiving, or do we just go headfirst into the holidays full on? And you know, over here, you know, for me, I celebrate Christmas, and I'm not like a religious person when it comes to the holiday, but I just love Christmas. Like I have, like, Christmas for me, it like hits home for some reason. It's just my favorite holiday. I love giving gifts. I love buying gifts for people. I love decorating. I just love the vibe around the holidays, which is funny because I used to hate it in my early 20s and late teens because I used to work directly in retail. And if anyone out there who works in retail around the holidays, my heart goes out to you. I'll be sure to pour one out for you when it comes to Black Friday and around Christmas, because people get vicious out there. But nevertheless, you know, I don't know if we probably won't run video on this podcast just yet. I mean, we might be, but like right behind me in my office, I have a spare Christmas tree all set up. It's fully decked out, and actually it's been the spot where we've been storing all of our like already purchased Christmas gifts, because we have the main tree out in the main living room, and but we don't want to put any gifts out there just yet until it kind of gets a little bit closer. Obviously it's still what, the 18th of November, like but I think I mentioned this last year on the podcast, when we were just fresh starting, is I'm definitely like an early gift buyer. I don't necessarily buy gifts throughout the year, but I usually start buying heavy like last week of October, and then like all through November. I try to get all my stuff like purchased, and that way I can really just relax all of the month of December and not be too concerned about needing to get that last minute gift. So most of my stuff is already taken care of. I think I've got everything set for my wife. I think I'm still looking for something for my sister, but I have a very strong idea of what I want to get her.
I'm behind.
But like regardless, like the one thing that like kind of snuck up on me, and maybe it's the season that made me want to do this. Like for me, like when it comes to drinking like liquor or alcohol of any kind, I'm typically a beer guy. Like I love IPAs, specifically I love session IPAs. I don't like wine too much. I'll drink champagne at when the occasion strikes. But when it comes to liquors, I've usually been like a gin or like a spiced rum kind of guy. And me and my wife, we were out at a restaurant out near where we live, and I just suddenly decided, it was like a craft cocktail restaurant, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick something completely left field, something I know I don't like inherently, and that's whiskey. For the longest time, my entire life, you know, I'm 31 years old now. I've always told everybody I hate whiskey. You know, it tastes like barrels and charcoal, and I just don't want it. And I just looked at the cocktail list and I saw that they had an old fashioned on there, and I was like, well, if this is a craft cocktail bar, like they specialize in craft cocktails, I'm gonna get something that I know and like I think I'm gonna hate because I want them to prove me wrong. And boy howdy, they proved me wrong. I got myself an old fashioned, standard rocks glass old fashioned with a little cherry in there with the big lump of ice that they carve out for you, and it just something about it, man. Like I've always sworn I hate whiskey, and I had this old fashioned, and it just tasted so good. And then you bet your bottom dollar, I went out the day after to the liquor store, bought myself some like I don't know mid-level whiskey because I don't really know anything about whiskeys. I know there's like Jack Daniels, I know Jim Beam, I know Maker's Mark, I know some other ones.
I think that's bourbon. Never mind. Woodford Reserve.
I have no idea, but so I mean, like again, I'm not a whiskey connoisseur, but like I just kind of grabbed a bottle that looked in my price range, something I wasn't gonna be annoyed at if I didn't like it. But I did grab like a mid-level Jim Beam bottle, and honestly, like people have told me that like Jim Beam's like gross, but like I actually kind of like it. Like it's actually pretty good. It mixes in really well. Like I wouldn't say I would drink it straight, and I haven't drinking any whiskey straight, only in cocktail form, but we went out and bought everything I need to make old fashions at home. I got whiskey sour stuff here. I even bought some eggnog because I really love eggnog this time of year. A little bit of whiskey in it, and but honestly, for me, the go-to, I've been drinking. I really like the old fashions, but the whiskey sour really like I had no idea they could be that good. So yeah, whiskey, is it true love? I don't know, but I'm willing to see where it's gonna go. And so I mean that's kind of what I've got to bring to the table today. But before we go, David, what are your feelings on whiskey?
I feel like when I was, of course, everyone goes to the phase. When you first turn 21, Jesus, 27, guys. This is just wild thinking about it. It was like yesterday. But when you first turn 21, you're like beers, freaking Four Loko, like just crazy stuff. But as you get older, I to quote my dad, famous George, that's what I like to call him. Sometimes I just like putting my foot to the gas. Get me there. Why you teasing me? Let's just get there. Beers just tease you sometimes. The whiskey will just get you there. I'm personally a big fan of Manhattans and old fashions.
Okay.
Whiskey I have grown to love. I remember I don't know why I guess it's because of how they design the bottles. They make it look like it's going to be fruity or something like that. It's not, guys. There's definitely a distinct taste in there. More of like it depends on if it's in a barrel. If they put it in a barrel, this and that. I remember we got the Game of Thrones, I think, whiskey. I forget who it's made by. I am blanking now, but I know what it is. Walker. I think it's like Johnny Walker or something like that. They made the Game of Thrones one. Me and my brother-in-law, Mark, got it. And we drank it straight. That bad boy was strong, but it was good. It tasted very good. So as I got older, I grew to like these things because it's like now you can just sip on these. It'll get you there. Instead of buying a 24-pack, chugging 10 beers to get you a little buzz. You just get a little glass, put some ice in there like Mike said. It waters it down a little bit later on. Put a little cherry in there, some bitters. Maybe a little bit of grenadine if you're feeling a little spicy. I sometimes put a little mint in there because it kind of gets it a little bit going. I used to be a bartender, guys, if you didn't know. But I do love it. But Manhattan and Old Fashioned is definitely my favorite. Once we get our bar, Mike, you have to come on over. I'll make a
great absolutely. Who knows? Maybe one day we could have our own whiskey. We could have the Humble Threads whiskey or something. I don't know.
Who knows? Hit us up.
A guy can dream. But with that being said, gang, we're gonna hit our first ad break, and guess what, gang? It is a new and improved ad break. So stick through it. We'll be back in just a short moment with our main topics. Hello and happy holidays, Humble family. This is Mike, and I'm here to give thanks and tell you a little bit about our sponsor, Anchor by Spotify. It's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that new and improved ad break. We'll be definitely doing some more things on the podcast to make it better. But talking about new things, man. Netflix, they're still kicking. tooth and nail, man. They're trying to keep up with all these new streaming services coming out, Disney Plus, HBO Max, all these things that are coming out with new and exclusive content. I'm not gonna lie, if it wasn't for my girlfriend, I think we would have got rid of Netflix a long time ago. There's nothing on there. She watches a lot of her shows like Virgin River, whatever it's called. But Netflix is now trying to kick back. Recently, the new Cowboy Bebop TV show has hit, the live action one. I believe it came out last Friday. I haven't had a chance to check it out.
This Friday, actually.
Is it this Friday? Oh, okay. Maybe it was early.
It was early access for certain outlets. But yeah, I believe this Friday, the 19th. So the day this podcast comes out, if you are listening to on the day of releases, you can go and check out Cowboy Bebop live action.
I might check it out. I think IGN gave it like a 7 out of 10. I don't really go by people's criticisms or whatever, critics for TV shows and such, because you kind of have your own opinion on certain things. So, but they're starting to come out with a whole new line of live actions, and that's what they said. But they said, we're coming out with these many live action anime shows, and here's the list. And as far as I know, right now, for us, we've seen like Cowboy Bebop's getting ready to be released, like Mike said, tomorrow on Friday. One Piece has announced their cast, which is crazy because One Piece has over like 1,000 episodes. I don't know. I have no idea what they're gonna do.
Not to mention how like the main like character of One Piece kind of works, because isn't he kind of like, you know what I mean? Like he's got some wild abilities that I didn't think would transfer over to like
I hope they got some
live.
money.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's going to be a crazy budget for them because, like Mike said, he stretches his arms. He gets bigger. It does, and there's a lot of different characters that do a lot of wild and outlandish things. So I don't know how they're going to do it. I'd imagine there's not going to be a lot of that in the live action because they're probably going to try and skimp out and save some money. We'll see.
Facts, absolutely. And one thing I wanted to add in about Cowboy Bebop is like when I first saw the live action trailer for Cowboy Bebop. Like, I didn't really know too much. Like, I know Cowboy Bebop, like the anime a lot, but I didn't really know too much that this was coming out until I saw the trailer. And I was like, whoa, John Cho? Like, Harold from Harold and Kumar? Like, in this like, action-packed role. Very excited to see him just really take in this role. He already looks phenomenal. He looks just like, Spike and just wants to... I don't know. I'm just really excited that they chose him. I feel like he was a very good pick for the role.
I just hope the director's good. We'll see. Like I said, they said 7 out of 10. It's kind of hard to adapt certain things because I think they said it was like an empty shell of what Cowboy Bebop was. But a lot of people don't understand that animes have the deepest lore ever. And the first 7 episodes is like 1 episode to learn the characters and learn what's going on. So it's kind of hard to fit that in a 7-episode TV series if that's how long it is. Because I know they've been cutting back the TV series, but I don't know. We'll see. Me and Mike will probably watch it. We'll come back to you guys, let you know on the review. Another one is Avatar. Avatar has been in the making for a while now with Netflix. I think Netflix was with their original creators, and then the original creators left upon creative differences, which is kind of wild. Like, why would you get rid of the original guys who made it? Like, it's weird, but they've started releasing a lot of that stuff. A lot of this stuff has been in the works. Cowboy Bebop was released, like the live action trailer, like them coming out and saying who it was. Like I think like 2 years ago, I want to say.
Oh wow, really?
It was a while ago, and now they just sprung it back up. I really don't feel like it's going to get a lot of attraction, because I just feel like they haven't promoted it a lot. I mean, granted, Netflix is
it's
Netflix,
like
but
I feel like Cowboy Bebop is gonna get 2 audiences. It's gonna get, and it's gonna be, and part of that audience is gonna be split, okay? Because you're gonna have like the edgelords, like the cream of the crop, people who love Cowboy Bebop, the anime specifically, the people that like are diehard Bebop fans that maybe won't like how they translate it into the live action, because I know that they said that it's strongly based on the anime, but still. There's still room for creative choices to be made by the directors and producers. So it won't be 100% like of a copy of the show, but it's going to have a lot of its core values in there. So yeah, I'm just at the end of the day, I'm just super excited for it to come out.
Yeah, me
to kind of see what happens. But regardless, there's definitely going to be the people that either choose to love it because they saw the anime, or they're going to choose to boycott it because they think the anime is better. And then, of course, you're going to get the people just scrolling on Netflix or looking at what's trending, and they're going to dive in and just love it because it'll be their first entrance into the Bebop universe, and whether or not there are some people out there that'll say, oh no, you got to watch the anime, it's better, or the manga or whatever. I think it's still going to be a great vehicle to get people on board with Cowboy Bebop. So I'm very excited for that one. And again, yeah, One Piece and Avatar. I'm just stoked to see what that even looks like because of the amount of probably CGI they'll have to kind of figure out. But who knows?
I mean, I just hope Netflix gives it a chance, because Netflix is known for starting these shows and creating these shows, giving it one season and then canceling it, and not really letting it breathe and see what season 2 can do. Because sometimes season 1 of shows are terrible, but season 2 is what redeems it, because you get new directors, a new showrunner, and it kind of breathes new life into the show, and they kind of retcon what happened before in the show. They've canceled a lot of shows that I really enjoyed, and that's one thing I also don't like about Netflix. Because I'm like, bro, give it a chance. Come on, it's just started getting good. But yeah, guys, so Netflix, a lot of live action animes. Go check them out. Go look it up. I'm pretty sure there's a list on IGN. Maybe you'll see one on there. Oh, I'm forgetting one that I really like. Yu Yu Hakusho is getting a live action, which is crazy to think about. That was before Dragon Ball Z. That was my favorite anime. I watched that religiously. I've seen every episode. I know what happens. That is my favorite anime. Mike, is there any other ones you would wish to see?
Live action?
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter, Gundam, etc.
Hunter x Hunter would be incredible. I don't really think I want a like My Hero Academia to go live action, because I just feel like there's just way too much of like, in terms of like superpowers and things that just really couldn't transfer. I mean, Hunter x Hunter would be incredible. I also think Seven Deadly Sins would be a very interesting live action, possibly. Agami ga Kill would be incredible.
Maybe Fire Force. I think that'd be like a cool horror.
Demon Slayer would be nuts.
That'd be wild. That'd be horror like those two. Oh my god, it's got
Jujutsu Kaisen would be incredible. You never know, because the thing is, you just can't compare them to the originals, because they're going to be kind of their own entity, more or less inspired by that original.
Exactly.
But with all this talking about streaming platforms, we cannot avoid talking about Disney Plus, because whether you've looked at the news or not, they've recently opened the floodgates on all of the new shows coming to Disney Plus, and it is wild what they are bringing to the show.
Guys, I once again, a lot of speechlessness coming up right now, because the amount of shows that are coming out on Disney Plus, the amount of movies that are coming out on Disney Plus, it is wild. One of the big ones I wanted to talk about, which is an occult favorite that everyone wants to talk about, is, of course, they're making the movie Hocus Pocus 2. Now, I know some of you people might be like, it's cliche, it's played out, blah, blah. This is interesting that we could even bring it back and have people actually want this movie to come back. I'm hoping they do good. It looks like they're I don't know if it was Lithuania. I might be pulling that out my butt. I'm sorry. But you guys can check where they were directing the movie. But I think it's still going to have the same type of feel. I think it's going to be in a different setting, but still have that old colonial haunting type feel with it. I'm excited to see it. And it's not going to be in the movie theaters. It's going to be exclusively on Disney Plus. So that's also really cool. I'm wondering if they're putting all their power and faith in Disney Plus, thinking that it's going to draw more people in. And it's actually going to be really that good. So we'll see. But I'm going to go down the list, guys, of Disney Plus shows that have been announced as far as like Marvel-wise. There's a bunch of other different ones that have been announced, but we don't care about that. I'm sorry. Marvel's all the way, buddy. We have the Secret Invasion, which has been announced. We have a Marvel Zombies animated series. If you watched What If, there was a Zombies episode. I'm very curious to see how they're going to flesh that out. I would imagine that's going to be released around Halloween-ish. Maybe Halloween, November, depending on what they want to do. We got Agatha, House of Harkness. If you watched WandaVision, Agatha was the main protagonist in that movie. That one's going to be interesting too, because that's going to get a little bit of the Hocus Pocus vibe, because she was part of like witch covens and everything when that was big. It also took place in Salem. So we'll see if it has to do, if it's like a flashback, or if she gets out of, whatever happens at the end of WandaVision, which Wanda traps her there. Sorry, spoiler. Show's been out for a while. Get in there. It's a great show. Iron Heart. I am very excited about this. This is Riri Williams, who is a young black female, very smart. In the comics, they said when she was like, I think it was like when she was 1, her IQ superseded Iron Man and whoever else. Like, she graduated high school pretty much. Like, the principal was saying she was so smart. But she pretty much gets in charge of Iron Man's suit. She makes her own suit, and then she becomes the new Iron Man, pretty much. I haven't really read any of the comics. I've been really hoping to get a #1 comic. We have an I Am Groot. I'm sorry, I'm not really too interested in that. I'm going to name all these, and I'm going to get Mike's input on some of these too. He might be interested. I don't know. We have Spider-Man freshman year, which is following Spider-Man in his freshman year before we see him in the first movie, like right when he got bit. Maybe we'll get an Uncle Ben appearance. I have no idea. We have Echo. Echo is going to be interesting. And I'm gonna do a little deep grind on this. I won't try and stay too long on these shows, but Echo is the adopted daughter of Kingpin. Now we know who Kingpin is. It's Wilson Fisk. Wilson Fisk was in Daredevil. So if Wilson Fisk was in Daredevil, that means they gotta show him in the Marvel Disney Plus shows. And also, the Tracksuit Mafia is in Hawkeye. The Tracksuit Mafia is run by Kingpin. And I think Echo's going to be in Hawkeye. So I feel like we're starting to blend a lot of these shows in together. They also said they're having a casting for a Daredevil TV show. That was actually posted on a legit site. IGN posted that, and I guess we'll see if Charlie Cox comes back. We have What If Season 2. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen with that. They did a lot of cool things at the end of that. We have Miss Marvel. You should know who she is. She's probably been in a good bit of media recently, especially in Marvel's Avengers by Square Enix. We have She-Hulk. That trailer was out. That looks pretty interesting. Moon Knight, which Oscar Isaac looks amazing. There was a little bit of a teaser for that. I'm excited. There's an X-Men 97. If you guys grew up in the 90s, you had the old X-Men show on. That's what it was, guys. It was a crazy show. I loved it to death. I'm happy it's coming back. I feel like they're closing a lot of chapters on our childhood to give us some closure. Ain't nothing better than some closure, people. I'll tell you right now. But Mike, that is all the shows. Let's hear your thoughts, concerns, maybe some dreams that you have that shows that will come out. Let's hear it, Mike. What you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, one that I think we might have missed was the Book of Boba Fett. Very excited for that one because was a huge Mandalorian fan, a big Star Wars fan in general. Actually, me and the wife have decided that through better or for worse, we're gonna watch the entire cinematic of Star Wars starting. Literally, we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we're just gonna do it. And we just did episode 1 2 nights ago. It's not great going back to watch Jar Jar Binks be like Misa, not like whatever, like he's a pretty awful character that entered that world. But say what you want about Jar Jar Binks, but I love Star Wars, so like very excited to see Boba Fett get some screen time to really get a better understanding and learn about him. Also very excited about Spider-Man freshman year. Because like kind of funny enough, like when you go see that if you've been out there to see the new trailer for the new Spider-Man movie that just dropped, I think yesterday or this week or something like that. He says to MJ, it's like, I only ever had like 1 week of normalcy, which is when I first kind of told you that I was Spider-Man or whatever. And because in the Tom Holland Spider verse or whatever, they never really did like an origin story. They just kind of like assumed it because there's been so many origin stories already. And so this is kind of going to give you that origin story. It's going to kind of give you that first year of being Spider-Man, of from getting bit. And so I'm just kind of excited for it. It is animated, right? Is that right?
Yep, it is animated.
Yeah. So, I loved Into the Spideyverse, knowing what they can do with an animated Spider-Man. Very excited for that one. Agatha, a House of Harkness, I'm interested in because I was a big WandaVision fan, and getting to know more about Agatha as more of a main character, villain. It's kind of counter hero kind of show. Very interested in. But as far as that goes, the rest of it, I'm sure it'll be very great. X-Men 97 looks great. I've obviously been on Disney Plus for a while, and I've gone back to watch some of that old school X-Men animated series, which is still holds up, although not all of it's like PC or kind of like fully acceptable for the times, but from when it was made, Definitely hits all of the nostalgia blocks. But as far as that goes for me, that's kind of where it sits. Looking forward to Spider-Man and the Book of Boba Fett.
All right, guys. Yeah, man. Go on there, check it out. There's a lot of different shows. I'm pretty sure they'll be releasing more, especially because I think there's like a Star Wars thing coming out where they're going to be releasing more Star Wars stuff. I know they're kind of up in the air with a lot of different things going on there. I think they just recently stopped Kathleen Kennedy's movie and some other guy's movie, so who knows? They're up in the air with it. But speaking about movies, guys, woo-wee!
Speaking about Spider-Man in general,
that new Spider-Man trailer. We have our reactions to it. It should be up on YouTube today. If you have a chance, go check it out. But you know what? I'm gonna let Mike dive in. Mike,
yeah.
What you think, man? What you think that's going on here? What is?
I love it. I mean, it's about time. I mean, ever since like the multiverse really started becoming into play, specifically we saw like I guess the creation of said possible multiverse at the tail end of Loki. You know, Doctor Strange in from the Avengers and everything like that. Just or just the Marvel Cinematic Universe involving Doctor Strange in general. Like he has the ability to kind of see multiple realities, go to different multiverses, and kind of see those outcomes, like he says from that movie. And so, like being able to shatter more or less the current reality that the Tom Holland Spider-Man lives in, and kind of bringing in a live action multiverse of Into the Spideyverse, if you will, which I think is incredible. I think it's a shame that there isn't a live action Miles Morales movie just yet. I think it's definitely on the horizon. I actually saw something today. I think IGN posted it that Tom Holland is on record saying that he thinks he wants to, finally after this next whatever thing comes out, he wants to step away from Spider-Man and kind of let the space open for Miles Morales live action, which I think is 100% coming down the pipeline. But regardless, talking back to this trailer. It's incredible to see old faces, right? We're seeing Green Goblin, we're seeing Lizards, Sandman, Electro, and it's just really awesome to see, and Dr. Octavius, of course. Really awesome to see really old classics coming in. But it's undeniable to me at this point that there won't be an Andrew Garfield and a Tobey Maguire in this movie, because like what a missed opportunity to bring in all of those villains from all of those other worlds and not also bring in the Spider-Man that go with them. We even see in the trailer that like Doc Ock takes off Tom Holland's mask and says, "You're not the Peter Parker I know, like you're not the one I'm after." And we even see like captions in the trailer where Doc Ock is seemingly like becoming an ally with Peter Parker, Tom Holland Spider-Man. And so I think that there might be a situation, because if you remember back to the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie with Doc Ock in it, he wasn't inherently an evil person. He only became kind of corrupted when his his mech suit kind of triggered on his spine and kind of took him over. So I think there's going to be a situation, as we saw in the trailer. If you looked closely at the beginning of the trailer, Doc Ock's arms are all silver and like almost seemingly like still the original versions, and then later it has all this red stuff over it. And we know that Spider-Man, at least in this universe, has like a Stark Spider-Man suit, which has like nanotechnology all over it. So I think there's there's a possibility that maybe through that interaction, when he's finding out that it's not the Peter Parker he's wanting to, maybe some of those nanobots kind of interface with his mech, and maybe the nanobots fix the problem that was making him go crazy and kind of brings his sanity back. And I don't know, because back in that movie, Doc Ock was like actually playing around with whatever that was, that big I forget exactly the kind of scientist he is.
It was like a sun or something.
Like creating a small, like almost like a black hole or whatever, like in his space. I think he might have technology that maybe in the show they'll utilize in this space, in this new verse that he's now in, to try to maybe get him back to go back. Because one thing I really loved about the trailer is there's a scene where Doctor Strange goes, you guys are gonna have to Scooby-Doo these people or whatever, and he also mentions that in all of their universes they all died to Spider-Man, which isn't necessarily true, because I think Electro exploded himself I don't think the Sandman was actually killed, and I think the Lizard disappeared somehow. So like I think the only one that definitively like the two that definitively are died would be, or the three would be Doc Ock, who killed himself to save the world more or less, so makes him kind of like an anti-villain but not a hero. Electro killed himself by like a self explosion, and then Green Goblin killed himself by like a snafu with his little like glider that like stabbed him in the chest. So I agree with Tom Holland's, or at least Spider-Man in this movie's initial choice to say like no, there's got to be another way. There's always another way. How can we get them back to their realities in a safe way? So I think that's going to be it's going to come down to Doctor Strange fighting Peter Parker's want to save these villains, at least to get them back to where they belong, versus killing them in this universe to I guess stop this like Nexus moment or whatever. But I'm really excited, and what's crazy is like you can obviously see that they're, at least during that one big scene where the three villains are divulging on Spider-Man. There's obviously two other spider things or some other creatures swinging in to fight against them. Maybe one of them is Doc Ock. Maybe it isn't Tobey Maguire. Maybe it isn't Andrew Garfield. I don't know, but I think it could be. I think it's very probable that they would bring those guys in. We've also seen possibly some like head swaps on some of the other bodies that just kind of don't look like Tom Holland. So, and I know there was like a leaked international trailer that actually showed the Lizard getting like weirdly punched in midair by nothing. In that one scene, if you can go Google it or YouTube it, you can find that extra sequence. But I don't know. I'm my if I'm standing at home plate and I'm about to take a swing at this fastball and I got to point to the stadium as to where my ball's going to land, I think I said this before when we saw the first trailer, but I still think we're going to get a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and we're going to get an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man as well, to kind of tag team and fight against these other. And honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if the majority of the time the other Spider-Mans are in this movie have their masks on, because they probably couldn't. They probably didn't want to like overly push the budget to get these guys in there like FaceTime a lot. But I have a feeling there's definitely going to be face reveals. I don't know. That's my 2 cents, or maybe like $4. I'm not sure. I said a lot, but David Graves, man. What are you thinking?
Man, oh man, guys. I do want to say they got the budget. Disney has boatloads of,
and Sony too, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring it back to like what Mike was saying. Mike made a great theory. I've never heard of that, but like the nanites taking over the arms, which they said, Spider-Man's suit is nanite, and it just probably went onto the arms and it probably repaired what was going on and brought Doc Ock back. Great theory. Have not heard that one yet, so that's a first for Humble Threads. Do not steal it out there. People credit us. Guys, I'm excited. I am very excited. Mike kind of said it all. The only things I need to say are they have to be in the movie. They have to be there. They gotta be there. There's been 2 things that popped up. One was that it was the Brazilian trailer where he gets punched in the face, the Lizard. 2, they have a reaction of why am I forgetting his name? Tom Holland watching it. When he hops up onto the Statue of Liberty, you hear him say, "Oh wait, what happened to the?" And then he stops talking, and you kind of see Zendaya and the guy who plays Ned Leeds. Their whole face just like goes stone. So I was like, "Oh," but there is another theory, and I just want to say this: if Marvel does not put these people in the Spider-Man movie, I will be very, 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 very disappointed. This is the end-all home run grand slam to say Marvel is the best. You have brought 3 generations of Spider-Man together. A lot of people have grown up either seeing Tobey, a lot of people have grown up seeing Andrew. And having all 3 of them,
Tom Holland,
and having all 3 of them, and they don't even have to survive in the same universe. Like they could sacrifice themselves. They could, put an end to the story. But this would be a great send off. The amount of cheers, I would probably cry in the movie theater. I'm getting chills right now thinking about it. But if they don't do it, it's kind of reminding me of WandaVision when we got Quicksilver from the X-Men. You kind of let that one flop. We had a lot of Cthulhu, we had a lot of Mephisto references. Let that one flop. Apparently, Agatha's the big bad. So everyone's disappointed about that. They kind of hit it all the way home when we watched Loki because they had Kang in there. But at the same time, I was like, that's good. They finally did something where it shows the big bad. We feel like it is. But if you're a true person who's been watching these movies and you feel how I feel, they have to be in the movie. The only other thing I can think of, and if they did this, I would probably still be disappointed because this is a cop-out. When he's up on the Statue of Liberty, and we do know some other people are jumping with him, the other people could be Venom and Doc Ock. And I will be very upset because the way the Lizard's getting hit, it's either a kick by Andrew Spider-Man, which I think that's what it looks like, or it's a punch by Venom because it looks like a strong enough hit to not. Lizard's not a small guy; it's a big thing. So I don't know, guys, but I'm being there on midnight because A, I don't want it spoiled, and B, I gotta see it in its entirety. I'm going to IMAX. I'm driving all the way out there. I'm seeing it in 3D IMAX. I'm going to stand up and clap and cry if they're in there because
I have a wild theory, right? Because I'm watching the trailer right now on my other screen, and while we're talking about it, and I'm seeing some things in it that are just hitting some memories for me. Okay, so hear me out. It's been a long. I don't know if you've heard this not conspiracy, but the theory whether or not that the Tom Holland's friend in the show or Peter Parker's friend Ned Leeds, his kind of tech buddy or whatever. There's some speculation whether or not he might become a villain at some point because of some circumstance that forces him into that, right? And I've got two things based on the trailer that I've just been watching that I think solidify that he will be a villain. And I also think that it will guarantees that we're going to get a Andrew Garfield in this movie, and I'll tell you why. So, in the Andrew Garfield cinematic universe of Spider-Man, he's unable to save Gwen Stacy, right? She when she falls to her death, and even in the trailer, Tom Holland Spider-Man goes, I can't save everyone, right? So he says that. And then there's that scene where Zendaya or MJ is falling off the building, and you see him trying to go after her, and there's going to be a circumstance where, and meanwhile Ned is still hanging on to something, he's nearly dying himself, but so he skips past Ned to go after MJ, and I think that because Andrew couldn't save his Gwen Stacy, he's going to back up the Tom Holland Spider-Man to help him save MJ, but at the cost of Ned. And I think Ned is going to fall and possibly get banged up or hurt or something. And Spider-Man wasn't there to save him. And there's a scene, and I'll have to get you the timestamp. I don't know it just now, but there's a scene where you see a Green Goblin flying in through the mist. But for a fraction of a second, you get to see what the Green Goblin looks like, and it is not William Dafoe's Green Goblin. It almost looks like
I was gonna say it's
what's his face?
His son, but James Franco's been canceled.
Franco's not in the movie. He's been blacklisted for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
So I don't think because Franco took over the Green Goblin mantle, right? Mm-hmm. But also in the comic books, I believe this Ned character
in the new
becomes the Hobgoblin, and I think that possibly because towards the end of the movie when it's getting really crazy, you see, or I guess I'm assuming it's the end. I don't know when Doctor Strange is standing on top of the Statue of Liberty, and he's creating more magic rifts of some kind. I feel like we're gonna get even. And he goes, I think he said there's more coming or something. I feel like we're gonna get a Ned Leeds Hobgoblin coming in that final fight. And I'm uncertain whether or not he's going to be friendly or not. But that also leans to your theory that in that final fight where there's possibly three figures fighting, one of them, you're right, could be Doc Ock because he seems to be a friendly, at least at some point in this movie. and the other one may or may not be Ned Leeds, but coming through as the Hobgoblin to try to help Peter Parker. Once I guess he realizes what's going on. I don't know, maybe not, but I still think that Ned is going to be a villain at some point. I think that Andrew Garfield's for sure in the movie because he's going to help save MJ, because they're not going to kill MJ the way they killed Gwen Stacy. And I still think that there's a scene on the highway that the body that's like jumping around just looks like Tobey Maguire's kind of like not so built physique, but like still kind of like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, guys,
there's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on. I will say, because I've been dissecting this ever since we did our review. Once again, go ahead and watch that. But they said the Green Goblin that we see the second time is William Dafoe.
Is it?
Yeah, they did specify that, because when they come over, apparently what they're saying is they come over like themselves. But as they come over, they're changing differently, because as you can see, Jamie Foxx is Electro. And I don't want to spoil the movie, so I'm not going to say what happens, but he gets pretty much a workman's outfit. And that's going to be his suit, like his supervillain costume. Same with Green Goblin. I think they say something might happen to his suit, so he has to makeshift the suit. They're bringing it more back to his comic book origins, because his old comic book origins is he wears a hood and those goggles. So they're going to try and do that. But I think you are correct, because there's a lot of things that tie to this. They said that this is Spider-Man's Endgame. What happened in Endgame? A lot of people came out of portals. A lot of people came back. There was a lot of surprises, but someone died. And I think it's going to be Ned. Either that, or he's going to be severely paralyzed and someone's going to pick him up and then he'll become Hobgoblin or something like that. But once again, we don't know how many more movies Tom Holland's going to sign on to. So either he's going to become Hobgoblin and then we'll bring in Miles and that'll be his villain. We'll see. I have no idea. But guys, there's theories all over the place. There's speculation all over the place. The only thing I can say is we going to be there watching it. And I know we're going to do a special episode of Humble Threads podcast. It might only be 30 minutes long, but we're going to dissect this movie. It will definitely be spoilers. It'll say it right in the caption, so don't watch it if you haven't seen it. But come on in, we'll dive right into it. But, whew, guys, that is the first half of our content here. Thank you for listening to that. We will be right back after this new sponsor or what, commercial break. After this new commercial break. Sorry, we'll be right back. Hey everybody, what's going on? It is David Graves from the Humble Threads podcast, one of your favorite co-hosts. I just wanted to take a second, guys, and tell you about the new merch and everything we have in our store. We've recently decided to make some merch because you guys got us to 500 listens. Crazy big milestone. I wanted to say thank you for you guys supporting us. And you can go to teespring.com and type in Humble Threads Podcast and everything should be able to pop up. If we're able to get more sales, we will definitely buy a domain name and make it easier for you guys to find. We're just trying to feel everything out and see, if you guys are interested in merch and everything else like that. Everything's amazing. I bought a shirt. Mike bought a shirt. They're very comfortable, help support us. Not only are you buying something to support us, you're wearing it and giving people some insight on something new. They might see it and say, hey, what's that from? And you can say the Humble Threads Podcast. Two guys just sitting down and talking about life and video games and more things. I wanted to take a second, shout that out for you guys. It's been David Graves. Thank you. Stay humble.
Thank you so much for sticking with us. Please be sure to go grab that shirt that David just talked to you about. Means a lot. We have a lot of other items over there as well. But right now it's time to jump into the games corner. We have a whole bunch of games that are either coming out or have come out over the past 2 weeks that we have to talk about. First and foremost, if, out of nowhere, like I think I said on Twitter, like Kool-Aid Man crashing through your living room wall. Halo Infinite is here. At least the multiplayer is. And I'll tell you, man, like it feels obviously the gameplay is upgraded, the graphics are significantly better, but it gives me that nostalgia of playing when I used to play back in high school when Halo 2 was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about it is it's free multiplayer, right? So like you never have to worry about, you can just download it now. You have an Xbox, you have a computer, you can just go to Steam or the Xbox store and just download it for free to play the multiplayer. There will be a campaign coming. It's not available just yet. But I am having so much fun in the big team battles. I have not ventured into ranked mode yet. Quick play is kind of fun, but I don't really enjoy it. I really like the big team battles again, like capture the zone, capture the flag, those kind of things, and I've been playing that a lot. And I'll tell you what, I'm saying it right now. I think the sidearm is goated. I went like 22-10 today with the sidearm and just like wrecked so many people with it. But David, what's your take on this, man?
Yeah, man. We'll definitely get through these. Not too long because there's a lot of cool stuff in there, guys. So we'll touch on it here and there. But I've been playing a lot of Halo. It feels like 2007 all over again. If you don't know me, I do play a lot of Call of Duty, but my first FPS shooter was Halo. Me and my cousin played it a lot. The gameplay feels smooth. It feels great. It feels just like Halo 3. Halo 3, I feel like, had the best multiplayer in my opinion. They had everything in there from the guns to the vehicles, etc. It feels like a reskinned version of that, but way better. With better things in there. The customizing your character is amazing. They need to fix the battle pass, of course. A lot of people have been talking about that because it takes forever to grind through. I agree. I would love to be able to like mix match and create my character to see like the most BA player I can be in there. Hopefully they add different races in there, brutes. And the other guy, I forget his name right now, but
Arbiter,
yes, it's great. I've been in ranked is fun with friends. Playing with randoms can be a little iffy sometimes because they back out, so then it's 2v4 that messes up your rank. But the rank, I feel like, is great, and a lot of games need to take from it because you level up a good bit, but it's also based off win and your personal best, pretty much, not just off of the win. Kind of like Apex, which is annoying. It'll knock you back if you guys lose, but if you're dropping like 22 and 8, it doesn't matter. So that's what also kind of annoying, but that's amazing. Games need to launch with that and get that together. This is the first multiplayer that's dropped that had it all together. Great game.
Absolutely. Moving on to our next game here, we have the obligatory call out for Call of Duty Vanguard. It's a World War II themed Call of Duty this time around. I have not personally dived in to play it physically myself, but I've been watching a lot of streamers, specifically Tim the Tatman, Courage, JD, and of course the ultimate Dr. Disrespect. Love that guy. And they've been playing a ton of it, and it looks good. Like honestly, like the one thing that pulled me away a lot from the Modern Warfare stuff is all of the tech, right? Like I feel like the tech kind of gets leaned on as a crutch, whereas this one is old enough that you still have like a red dot sight, but like you don't have like advanced UAVs. You don't have like, I don't know, like more or less wall hacks. You don't really have those kind of things in this game, and there's a lot of really fun game modes in there that I'm seeing a lot of fun content coming out of. But for me, honestly, it's just another Call of Duty. It looks, it's the same gameplay, it's the same grind. Yes, they're adding extra stuff for Warzone specifically, but I don't know. I think I've just bounced off of Call of Duty personally. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, just to reiterate what Mike said, I agree with all of it. It's just it's hard to come out with a game every year and make it look different because I feel like it's just a reskin version of certain games, and it just continues to. It feels great. They launched great, better than Cold War. Game's fun. I like when Halo came out, the multiplayer. I want to play that more than Call of Duty right now, and that's saying a lot. Maybe it's because Halo comes out every so often and it's something brand new or just something that feels right about it. Vanguard is fun. There's a lot of grinding with it, but honestly, and I've said this before, I play it because of my friends. What I do is I hop in the game, level up the guns I want to level up, and then that's it for me. I'll wait until we want to play Search and Destroy and take it from there. They need to fix some of the spawns. The time to kill is kind of off a little bit. Of course, some of the guns are messed up because some of them are OP, some of them are not. They're nerfing them. There's a couple of things that need to happen. Overall, if I was to give it a score, it'd be an 8 out of 10. For me, Halo right now is a 10 out of 10. That's just how it is. But Call of Duty, Vanguard, better job than Cold War. I'll say that they had a lower bar to go above than before. But great game. The next game I wanted to touch on was the WB Multiverse. We're just going to touch on this really quick because it seems like a lot of these studios or places are making these type of like Smash Brother games. Nickelodeon just made one. WB's now making one. Of course, we have Smash Brothers, which they're talking about trying to make another one to keep up with everything going on. How they're going to outbeat this one, I have no idea. But it seems like they want to make these like multi-battle games, and I think it's kind of interesting and fun. It gives everybody on a platform a game just like that. Instead of playing Smash Bros. Just on Switch, you have something on PlayStation, you have something on Xbox, you have something on Steam now. I think it's pretty cool. Mike, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think it's cool as well to see specifically characters that are usually docile or not so aggressive, like pummeling each other. Like I think I saw a screenshot of like Shaggy from Scooby Doo, like,
Shaggy,
throwing like a flying jump kick at something, and I was like, "Yo, that man's never moved that quick."
Right.
And but I did also see that they have Adventure Time characters in there. Bugs Bunny,
Superman.
of course, Batman, Superman. So there's I think there's going to be a very interesting community that grows up around this game. And yeah, to mention the Nickelodeon one, like that one's also super cool. I saw someone hit punching with a SpongeBob or something.
Avatars in there. Crazy.
I love seeing that, like specifically over on that one, that they were throwing in some like old school Nickelodeon characters to kind of like bring in multiple generations to the game. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a smart move. I think fighting games are not dead at all, and I think there's only more opportunities to kind of bridge the gaps. And maybe one day we'll see a WB Multiverse X Nickelodeon game, or even bring it into Smash and do a specific. I don't know if they'll ever get Smash. Probably not.
Those two, I could see that.
I could see those two for sure. Scooby Doo going up against a SpongeBob or something. But moving on from that one, I think we should talk a little bit about the new Battlefield game. I don't know. I've never personally loved Battlefield. I always thought that like the big team battle fights were cool. But for some reason, like I remember when the first when I think Battlefield 3 came out, that was like a pretty big release. I just like, I don't know, for me it was almost like it was too realistic, and it felt like too like you were fighting in a game that wanted you to fail almost because of how realistic it was. Like in a way, like they wanted there was a pretty big skill curve for it. The new one looks okay. I've heard mixed reviews about it from different sources. I probably won't buy it, but I know that a lot of the other Battlefields have come to Xbox Game Pass, which I do have. So if the new Battlefield comes to Game Pass, I'll at least try it. But I'm not sure how much I will dive in.
Yeah. It's been hard, man, because I will say this. I was on track to get Call of Duty and then get Battlefield. Halo literally smacked the mess out of Battlefield. I personally have no desire to really buy Battlefield now that Halo's out. It's going to be a hard sell for me to pay $60 for a game that has some of the mediocre stuff in here, because there's still a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed when the Halo's free right now. The only thing that was drawing me to Battlefield was Hazard Zone, and I'm hearing that's not even that great. There's still a lot of things they need to fix. It felt like they rushed it, they said, a little bit. They could have, held it back a little bit longer to release it later. And I think that would have helped it out a lot, because right now, it's like you're in a heavyweight battle with a lot of people who know how to swing and hit punches high. And if you're not hitting, you're not going to make it, because now you're trying to make people pay $60 for it. Everyone's going to buy Call of Duty. Everyone's going to play Halo. And there's countless other games that are coming out right now, but it's kind of a hard sell for me to buy Battlefield right now. And just like Mike said, I've never been a Battlefield guy. And I think he made a good point. This is why I'm glad me and Mike are friends, because I've never been able to put it into words, but it does feel like it's so realistic that it's trying to make you fail. Sniping, there's always a sniper drop and everything else like that. If I wanted to learn how to do that, I'll do that in real life. Give me a Call of Duty sniper. I'm trying to snipe you point blank. Let's do it. So we'll see. But right now, it's not on my list. If anyone wants to buy it for me for Christmas, please do. But once again, our favorite game.
Yeah.
We're going to do a check-in.
Yep.
New World check-in. I'm going to go briefly only because I don't play a lot now.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I can talk a lot. Go for it.
Yeah, I've kind of fallen off a little bit with these new games coming out, because I do love FPS shooters. I do love open world MMOs. Some of the voice concerns that we had last time still fit right now. The side missions are okay. I just like the grinding to try and get new level scores and everything else like that, going all across the map and everything. I kind of get where people are saying now, where it feels like a walking simulator. Granted, there's things to do outside of that, but every time I do a mission and I try and get some gear, I feel like the gear's lower than whatever I need. So what's the point? I personally just love going around and doing the corrupted events with everyone on there, and you can level up faster. That's fun to me. And I view New World now as more of a social game. I probably only play it on the weekends. If I have more than a couple of hours to play, I'll play it on the weekends with my friends, such as Mike, Billy, and all them, because we can run around and do stuff. During the night, I usually get done whatever I need to do at 8. I usually try and get off at 11, so that gives me a couple hours, and I feel like I only gain one level. So it's kind of degrading to me. So I don't know. I still love the game. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to play it because it's in its vanilla version right now, and I still see this game taking off. They just released a new Gauntlet. So they're definitely going to make some headway here. So, but Mike, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, love it. I kind of agree that I've slowed down a bit. A bunch of our friends, in the first week and a half, cranked out hundreds of plus hours to get to level 60 to start to play the end game content. And honestly, all of their opinions of it was just like, hey, honestly, just take your time, enjoy the game. Like, there's lots to do at level once you hit cap. But they kind of felt like they maybe rushed a lot of it, and they maybe could have enjoyed a lot more of the come up a little bit better. I'm currently, I think, level 49, almost level 50, so I can finally get over that next cap to continue the story missions. But the one thing that I have been a little annoyed about lately is how much, no matter what's going to happen in an MMORPG that's brand new, there's going to be people out there that want to try to break the game. And there's been countless situations where people are duping gold, and where basically ruining the economy in the game, basically duplicating items, duplicating gold to kind of basically cheat the game on its own system by breaking it, by exploiting things essentially. And there's also been weapons that have been broken that have been basically critting like crazy. So there's been a lot of downtime in the game because they've had to completely, over the past couple of days, they've had to completely freeze all financial transactions, whether it's the auction house or if it's player to player. But as of today, it is fully back up and running. The biggest update to the financial economy is that they've linked all of the trading post auction houses. So if you're, for example, if you know the game, if you're in Everfall and someone lists an item down in Windsward, you can buy that item up in Everfall. So that's something that I think is really awesome, because previously to that, each individual like hub city had its own economy and own auction house. And the problem with that was that in certain areas around the map, maybe an item was going for sale at one price down somewhere else, but going for a lot more elsewhere. So people were traveling around buying cheap items and then going up to other areas and then selling them for profit. And I mean, that's not, I don't think that's an exploit of the previous system, but I do think that it's like not really the game, necessarily. But so they've now completely stopped that. Now you can buy an item no matter where you are. It can be listed. It's basically like a global, like almost like the game kind of created its own Amazon store. Wow. Because the game is made by Amazon. It's kind of what it is. You know what I mean? And so I'm really happy to see that you can now buy items all over the place. It's going to unify all of the pricing so that no individual city can have higher prices on any given item. What I also really think that the new Void Gauntlet, currently there's like an ice gauntlet that you can wear, which utilizes like a magical power. The Void Gauntlet looks wild. I don't have one yet, but it looks pretty cool. I'm not really a magic user, so it's not something that I will probably seek out, but it is something that I think I like the mechanics of the Void Gauntlet better than the Ice Gauntlet anyway. I'm more of a kind of a hack and slash kind of tanking kind of character, a DPS if anything. The other cool thing that they added, because kind of to your point about how people have criticized the game being a walking sim, because currently in this vanilla version there are no mounts whatsoever to increase your speed while moving around the map. But what they did do on this recent update is they increased movement speed on all roads. As long as you are traversing the world on an actual paved road, you will have a bonus to your speed, and it actually shows the bottom of your screen that you have a movement bonus. And that triggers once you've been walking on a road for at least 3 seconds, and it terminates as soon as you either leave the road or you enter into some kind of combat, which I think is really great. I was playing today, and it definitely feels better. You are definitely moving faster when you are sticking to the roads. And obviously, it's not always the most direct path to where you want to go. And obviously, by sticking to the roads, you're going to avoid things that you might want to pick up, or you might want to, skilling opportunities, harvesting. So you're going to avoid that stuff by staying on the roads, but you will be moving a lot faster. And I've definitely noticed that so far. So the question is, will I be continue playing this game? 100%. Am I eager to finish the game? No, not at all. And like, there are people out there that want to beat this game real fast. And I just think that, for me, at least someone who used to play World of Warcraft extensively, there's so much fun just in the game itself. I don't need to run through it. This is not a Call of Duty battle pass that I want to crank out to the end. There isn't a battle pass for the game. So I'm just happy kind of treating it very casually and just having, log it in to do a couple missions and then just log it out and then doing something else. Maybe go play Halo. That's all I have to say, more or less, for our check-in with New World.
Yeah, guys, once again, feel free to hit us up and let us know what you think. This next ad will definitely help you out with that. We're going to definitely be talking about our socials. Come on in, tweet at us, hit us up on the Instagrams, whatever you need to hit us up on. But we'll be right back after this message. Hey guys, once again, it is David checking in here, one of the co-hosts from the Humble Threads podcast. I also wanted to take a second and just shout out our socials. If you have any questions, ideas, topics, food that you like, your favorite superhero, whatever it is, please hit us up on our social medias. Our Instagram is Humble Thread Podcast. Our Twitter is Humble Threads Pod. We also have a YouTube channel. That's the Humble Threads Podcast. Feel free, come on over, check out our socials. We'll definitely be in contact with you guys. We love the feedback, and we definitely want to have more of an interaction with you guys going forward. So come on in. Once again, you can find us on Instagram at Humble Threads Podcast, Twitter Humble Threads Pod, and YouTube Humble Threads Podcast. Thank you guys. Catch you back in the break.
Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, definitely go check out all those socials that David just talked about. Really appreciate it. It's the best way to get in contact with us and let us know what you think about some of these things that we talk about on this show. But hey, we have a brand new segment that I think we're going to start using on the show, and that's called Hot Takes. So this one, obviously, this episode is going to come out this week here on the 19th of November, but we won't have another show until December. So we have some hot takes that we want to kind of dish at each other about Thanksgiving in general. So, David, first out of the gate, I know you got a hot take on this one. Turkey, is it good?
Definitely not unless it's a smoked turkey. Nope, sorry.
Not smoked turkey?
Yeah.
Okay.
It tastes like
ham. Have you ever had a fried turkey?
Like deep, like
yeah, like a deep fried.
I think
I'm telling you, maybe that might be the answer for you.
Hey, listen,
because like,
if any of y'all have it and you want to invite me over, I'm not doing anything Thanksgiving, so come bring me on over. I'll have some.
All right. Yeah, for me, I like turkey. I think it's good. I like it. I like turkey and the deli slices of turkey.
That's good.
I like roasted turkey. We were at the Renaissance Fair earlier this year, and I got myself a turkey leg. It does kind of taste a little hammy in the dark meat areas. But honestly, I don't mind it. And it's just always been something that I've had, and I've only ever had like bad turkey when it wasn't me or my family cooking it. And because my mom is just an absolute wizard in the kitchen with knows how to cook a good turkey. For me though, I'll quickly give my hot take on how I like to prepare the turkey, just to give you an idea of how good a turkey could be. And it does say a lot that you have to do this to make the turkey better. But so for me personally, you got to brine your turkey. You got to make sure that there's lots of moisture in the turkey. A wet brine is I usually ideal, but a dry brine's not bad either. You got to baste that turkey, but before the turkey even goes into the oven, right? What I love to do is once it's all been brined and ready to go and it's all set up to go into the oven. Before it does, I will create a lattice or a woven texture on the top of the turkey in bacon, right? In thick cut and bacon. So the whole turkey ends up being covered in an extra layer of bacon. And then I take brown sugar and then rub brown sugar all over the bacon. And it basically what it does is it creates a candied bacon outer shell, which not only puts a little more fat content into the turkey to keep it moist, but it also creates a really delicious snack as soon as the bird comes out of the oven, because you always got to let the bird cool down for a little bit before you slice into it. And it just gives you that opportunity to peel off a couple pieces of candied bacon, and it makes the whole experience a little more interactive for the family. So shout out to anyone who gives that a try this year.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. If you don't like turkey, just make the turkey better.
I think that's what it is. People who make the turkey when I'm there, they don't brine it. They don't do. It's just turkey. That's what.
If it's just dry turkey, yeah, I feel you on that one, man. All right. Next up on the hot takes. What is the best Thanksgiving side dish?
Mac and cheese, runner up, yams with marshmallows on top.
Not bad. Those, I mean, see, I grew up in a family that did not do mac and cheese at Thanksgiving, but I'm a huge mac and cheese connoisseur. You can ask my wife. There's always mac and cheese in my house. Whether it's frozen mac and cheese, boxed mac and cheese, or homemade mac and cheese, we got mac and cheese in this house in all forms.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree. Nowadays, I definitely can't think of Thanksgiving without a mac and cheese next to it. I'm like, people say, oh, it's got to be stuffing, right? Honestly, I like stuffing. I like it a lot, but in terms of, is it the best Thanksgiving side? I'm not so sure.
Mm-hmm.
Is it important on a Thanksgiving table?
Yes, sir.
Personally, I think yes. But yeah, I definitely agree. The yams with the marshmallows on top. I mean, that's mostly a dessert. They just serve with your turkey. But yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on this one. And I probably wouldn't have a couple of years, 10 years ago before I really figured out that you could even have mac and cheese at Thanksgiving. But you're right, man. It's got to be mac and cheese because mac and cheese is good any day of the week. Whether it's mac and cheese in the chicken strip bowls at the local Wawa or what, but it's the way to go. Awesome. All right, next up on the list, cranberry sauce, homemade or out of the can in the jelly form. Which one are you having, David?
This is a little rough. I'm not gonna lie. Only because I feel like the cranberry sauce that I've had homemade, like they leave like that grainy cranberryness after, like this. I don't know if it's the skin or what. So it's not like I feel like I have to eat it and spit some stuff out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm a sucker though, because this is how my mom used to do it. Out of the can is great for me. You plop that right back on there, and I make like I call it the David sandwich. You just get your nice roll. You put some butter on each side. You put the cranberry on there. Put a little stuffing on there. Close that bad boy up. Take a bite. I'm telling you, it's like a mini gobbler. But yeah,
I love it. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Nothing's better than watching that like can shaped cranberry sauce flop out of the can. And you take a knife and you can like slightly slice it to like nicely thin pieces.
Oh.
Let's be real. It's just gelatin and like jelly. Like it's just like putting like cranberry jelly on your stuff, but it's delicious, and I definitely would go out of the can.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, Black Friday, man. Black Friday or Cyber Monday, which is better, and what if anything are you looking for?
Man, that's tough. It's tough because I wish that we made like Cyber Monday an extreme holiday like Black Friday. Like we could have off on Monday. I don't think I personally have off on Monday, but it'd be better if we did, because boy, I'd be in my room drinking a mimosa, watching the deals and going on through and picking it and stuff. But a lot of the times you're at work, so a lot of that stuff goes out of stock quickly. Black Friday, I would say I've had the best experiences at Black Friday. Because I remember a couple years ago when we were in high school, or not even high school, freshman in college, sophomore in college, KOP opened up, and it was open for like all night. So me and my friends went there all night. We bought clothes, we did all that stuff. We got whatever we needed. As I get older, I'm not so fashionable, trendy anymore. Like I kind of wear stuff like I think I'm cool, I guess. But Cyber Monday, I'm gonna have to take Cyber Monday as I'm getting older. If I was younger, you'd hear Black Friday. Right now, Cyber Monday. I'm sorry, I love everybody, but I do not like being around people because people get crazy around that time. What am I looking forward to the most, guys? I have a whole list. I can name it really quick. I need a chair. My chair broke. I want a new mic and I want a new headset. And if I can, I want a new camera just so we can make some more content and better content in the Grave Studio house right here. Mike, how you feeling, man? What do you think?
Yeah, honestly, like I have very fond in a way memories of Black Friday. When I was younger, I remember sleeping outside of a GameStop all night just to get a Nintendo Wii, which in hindsight was a terrible idea. Because the Wii was a bad console. But like yeah, all night outside in a sleeping bag with like six other idiots and like waiting for the sunrise to show up just so we could get it. I've also worked countless retail Black Fridays at the KOP Mall. And I'll tell you what, man, like that is crazy. It makes you never want to go out again on a Black Friday to work it. Like I said at the top of the show, my heart goes out to all of you out there in the retail world that has to work Black Friday. Because there are many, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's different this year because of the pandemic and all that stuff that happened over the last year, but many malls would stay open all night from Thanksgiving into Black Friday, and then Black Friday would close normal time, right?
I was there
so
once.
like when I was a store manager for a shoe store back in my early 20s, my store was one of those stores at a mall that had to stay open all night. And I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a mall that is near you that is open all night, that opens after like late evening Thanksgiving, after usually people have had their meals, if you are crazy enough, that is the best time to hit the mall because people actually are not there. You have the largest chance of shopping without much hassle, because having worked it myself, that the evening of Thanksgiving is usually the quietest time to get in, because everyone else, they just wake up at the crack of dawn because the mall's open all night, and they just get there at like 6 in the morning, and it's floodgates and it's crazy and people are shouting and screaming and throwing things and stealing, and it's nuts.
One good thing I will say though, I think like you said, because of COVID, they shut down. Like I think a lot of stores are closing. Like I don't think Walmart is open on Black Friday anymore. I think they stopped that.
Right. So like I think like for me, my choice is Cyber Monday because like there has not, in the last, I guess, decade of my life, there has been nothing that I've really needed that badly that I had to get a deal on, that I had to go out on Black Friday to go buy. And so Cyber Monday, whereas I don't think I'm going to get anything this year, it's definitely been the day that I look the hardest for something that maybe I do want to get. Because those deals are great. They are good deals, and if you can land one, more power to you. But that's where I'll stick. My vote goes to Cyber Monday. Moving along, this one's gonna be the last hot take we have. But in the spirit of the holidays, more or less, it's obvious if you've gone outside the house, if you've left your hole that we all kind of hide away in. Retail is fully sending into the holiday season already. Mariah Carey is blasting in every single store. What do you think, man? Is it? I mean, I know we both talked about how we already decorated and whatnot, but is it too soon, or is November just should be officially viewed as an acceptable extension of the holiday season?
I don't know. My opinion really on Thanksgiving is we all really know the true story of Thanksgiving. So I feel like give it another 20 years. I feel like that's going to change with everything changing. But I feel as though you can do that once, like this week is fine. Next week is fine. Like, once we're 2 weeks away from getting into December, go ahead. Sure, go do that. But when it's like fresh November 1st and you're like, bang, all I want for Christmas. Like, come on, man. We just got into November. I'm trying to ease my way out of spooky season. Like I still watch some like spooky stuff like in first week in November, second week in November. I usually get into my Harry Potter bag right in that time because it's a little mixture of both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but when you thrust me right into Christmas, I'm like, holy crap! Like, can we take a breath for a second? So, Just get my opinion on it is week before Thanksgiving is fine. We can do that, and then bring it on. Dump the whole glitter and tinsel on me after that. But.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same just because of my trauma of being in the retail world during the holidays. There's nothing worse than having to hear Mariah Carey sing All I Want for Christmas Is You or whatever, like a bajillion times. Or whatever she sings. I forget. It doesn't matter. It's but
they know.
It's more so for me the music. Like I don't mind the decorations. I don't mind going to the mall and seeing that they've already got the big tree up. I don't mind seeing people putting, already out there being bold, putting their inflatables up on their front lawns, or even driving past the house to see like, oh, there's a Christmas tree in that living room already. Because like I said at the top of the show, I love Christmas. I've already decorated my house. We haven't done anything outside, of course, but we've done the inside is fully Christmas over here. But we're not playing like Christmas music, right? We're not listening to Mariah Carey here. And a friend of ours actually works at a local Home Depot, our good bud Billy, and he was like, man, it is the worst thing in the world because the seasonal section is right across from where he is. And he has to listen to all there's something in that section he says that like people can trigger, and it just sings a holiday song over and over and over again, and it's driving him nuts. And like I think that's what it is. I think people really dislike the forced music more than they dislike seeing the decorations early. But that's kind of where it is for me. Like I actually don't mind November being an extension of the holiday season because for me it's like I've always thought that the Christmas tree was never up long enough because like as soon as January hits it's kind of like all right, we might keep it up for like a week or two and then we gotta bring it down. And so like for me I'm always like, look, if I'm gonna go through the trouble of hanging all these baubles, putting all this tinsel up, I want to at least experience it for a good amount, a solid amount of time. We waited until the second week of November to kind of like break down the Halloween stuff, move out of like the autumnal harvest kind of decorations that we have up, kind of in tangent with Halloween, and we just fully send it into a holiday over here. So definitely don't mind it. And yes, I do think November is an acceptable extension of the holiday season.
Yeah. I have to bring up the tree actually now. I'm telling you right now, guys, I was laughing the whole time Mike was talking because another t-shirt idea just came up is we're not listening to Mariah Carey over here. We need to have her face with a Christmas hat on since that thing's blasted. But I will say my last 2 cents, and I'll make it 2 cents, is I realized I like smooth jazz Christmas music, like no vocals with it, just real subtle saxophone in the background. Makes me feel like I'm in some weird diner or weird, pub bar in the middle of, I don't know, someplace snowy, and it's just a dude with a solid saxophone playing in the background. I like that. I think when they start throwing in the lyrics and everything, that's what kind of throws me off. But like subtle, jazz, it kind of messes with me. I'm good on that. But
So breaking news, by the way, breaking news. I just got a text from my wife who decided to try out the Halo multiplayer tonight while we've been recording.
Yeah, you guys have Xbox, right?
Oh, we do, yeah. So and so she just sent me a text and it says, I'm decent so far in Halo. And I don't know what that means. She didn't send me a scoreboard, but she plays a lot of Destiny too, so she's got that kind of first person kind of feel for it. So shout out to my wife for
Carolyn,
diving into Halo. This is her first ever Halo experience.
Come on in.
And seemingly already pretty good at it. So so I'll definitely have to play some games with her soon.
I'm definitely gonna play some with her. Especially Erica's on right now, and I think they should play. I think they would have some fun. But
without further ado, David, give us that wrap up.
Guys,
let's tell the people what we talked about.
Guys, man, as these we're reworking this podcast, it's gonna be hard for us to recap everything because we talked about it a lot.
I got it.
I'm gonna do it. I'm just letting people know we're gonna try and get there and try and touch base with certain things right here. But we talked about our life topics, guys. Mike with car trouble. I tell you, once you get that money, that's when the car starts acting funny. Getting ready for the holidays. We're all kind of decorating around our houses right now, trying to figure out what's going on. Me and Mike are definitely going to sit down for a glass of whiskey. He's officially reached the age where he likes whiskey now. Next thing you know, it's going to be cigars. Eggnog season. Mike really enjoys eggnog. He's ready for that to come back around. That with a little bit of whiskey in it is good. My toilet doesn't really like it so much because I don't drink it like that. So, you know what's happening this weekend. I'm excited, but I know someone's gonna ruin it because they have an attitude, usually a lot. The house is almost done. The carpet's in. The basement's almost done. I can't wait to get in there, have the man cave. The Sixers game. Thank you. Shout out to the Sixers for doing right and hitting me up and getting this thing together. Our main topics today. We're talking about Netflix and the live-action Cowboy Bebop show, One Piece, Avatar, Yu Yu Hakusho, etc. Disney Plus dropping the hammer once again, saying, I don't know why you guys are even competing because we're just going to keep coming out with bangers. The Spider-Man trailer, that's all I'm going to say. Because, yeah, we're going to go back in a tangent if we keep talking about it. We'll see it air, midnight. Games Corner, one of our new segments, Halo free multiplayer, amazing. Vanguard, still a little bit of an Call of Duty. I don't know if they can revitalize the franchise and get us that much more invested into it. Wb Multiverse's big character fighting game battle royales that are coming out. I'm excited to see them. Very new things that are happening in that space. Battlefield, once again, it's still a little feels a little rushed. We're learning from Cyberpunk here, and I think some developers are still trying to gamble and take those chances. New World Check-In. We both feel like it's still a great game, still an amazing game. Just set aside some time for it. Give yourself more time to play with your friends and level up a little more. But Amazon's still best $40 game I've ever spent. Just saying it out here. And a new segment for hot takes. We'll definitely be bringing these in for definitely special holiday editions or anything that comes out that we feel we need to touch on. Turkey, is it good? I said no. Mike says yes because he seasons it differently. And I completely agree. I feel like I just haven't had a lot of seasoning in my life when I go to certain places for Thanksgiving. What's the best Thanksgiving dish? I said mac and cheese. Runner up is the marshmallows. Mike semi-agreed. Cranberry sauce, homemade or canned? Come on, bro. You gotta watch that thing jiggle out the can.
Gotta be the can, man.
Gotta watch it jiggle out the can. Black Friday or Cyber Monday, which is better? Both nostalgia for Black Friday, good or bad. As we get older, Cyber Monday, give us the deals. I'm trying to sit in bed and just order something. Retail, is it fully sending into the holiday season? Yeah, they always do. And I feel like, put a little bit of pause on it. Give us a little breathing room. And then hop on into it. I'm fully aware of the Mariah Carey song and how much y'all love how much it is to be Christmas, but come on.
Awesome.
Let's relax.
Yeah, I mean, that brings us to it. Just want to do a quick call to action for everyone sticking with us through the show all the way up until now. Hey, look, if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to leave us a rating and written review on your podcast platform of choice. And consider sharing it with a friend. It really helps the podcast reach new listeners, and we really, really appreciate it. Without further ado, my name is Michael Hart. You can find me just about anywhere at KingpinCaribou, MikeHart.yoyo on the Instagram. And hey, the Twitch is back, but I don't know when I'll be live again. But just check it out. Keep the notifications on, and everything else in between. David Graves, man, let the good people know where they can find you.
Hey guys, as always, you can find me at David Graves. I'm pretty sure I switched all my socials over now, so that's where you can find me at YouTube. Once again, Kinggravesgaming. And as Mike said, a lot of stuff is happening. Come tune into our socials, tune into the Twitch channel, definitely tune into our YouTube. When we do stream, who knows, maybe we'll be throwing that extra stream up on there too, so you guys can have that content for later on. But guys, as always, I hope your stomach's full. I hope the jelly is jiggling out the can for that cranberry sauce. Is the turkey good? Let us know in Twitter, because I would love to know if it's dry or if it's briny. Just remember, guys, stay humble.
Let's go.